In this tutorial, we're going to go through chords for the first time. This is your chord chart, and this is on page 47 in your book. Now, you may have a different edition of the book, so it may be on a different page, but it will be toward the very back of the book, and it does say chord chart. For most editions, I believe that is page 47 in your book. Okay, you'll notice this picture, the diagram of the neck, is the same diagram from which we learned our notes. Now we're going to be playing chords. C-H-O-R-D. Well, what's a chord? A chord is two or more notes played at the same time, simultaneously. That is the musical definition of a chord, C-H-O-R-D. Often it's three or more. Sometimes it's 6 notes or 5 notes or 4 notes or 7 notes. If you play piano, you can play more than 6 notes at a time. The most we can play on the guitar, of course, is 6 notes at a time by strumming all 6 strings. Today we're going to learn 3 chords. They are A, D, and E. Eventually we'll learn all 15 of these chords and more. For now, we're going to do A, D, and E. So the first thing we'll start with is A. We've got our chord chart here. Notice right away we have X's. This means you are not going to strum or play those strings. So we're just going to leave them alone when we strum, which I'll tell you about in a minute. The little 0 means open, so that means you are going to play that string, but you're not pressing down at any fret. These locations are where you're pressing, and inside the circle tells you which finger of the left hand you are pressing with. So the A chord looks like this, and then I'll walk you through it. I think I'll turn this way. That might be better. Okay, so if we walk through the chart, the best way to do this at first to find these shapes is to go one finger at a time. So remember, this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it tells us, looking at the chart, that our first finger goes on the 4th string in the 2nd fret. So I'm going to put my first finger on the 4th string. Remember, this is 6, 5, 4. So this is my 4th string here. And I'm in the 2nd fret. Here's 1st fret. There is 2nd fret. So that's where I want to be. Then I go to the next finger, which is my 2nd finger, and it tells me that I'm going to be on the 3rd string, also in the 2nd fret. So I'm going to put that 2nd finger. Now already it's kind of hard to fit those in there at the same time, okay? But it's about to get harder. So now we go to the 3rd finger, and we're going to put the 3rd finger on the 2nd string in the 2nd fret also. So they're all fit into that 2nd fret. If you can see it like that. That's a little hard because you can't play it straight on like the picture shows it like that, all vertically, but your hand won't do that. So they're going to be at an angle like that. That's okay. So that's what your A chord looks like. You want to play right on the tips of the fingers, keep them nice and curved at the joint, and you want to use your thumb to squeeze and press down, giving you that leverage, and you want to strum with your thumb or your index finger is fine, either one. I don't want you to use a pick for now because we're doing fingerstyle. I want you to get used to strumming with your either your thumb or your index finger, or you could do something like this. You could pretend that you're holding a pick and strum it that way. That's fine. All right, and we are only strumming from the 5th string down toward the ground. Remember, this one has an X above it on the chart, so we will not play that note. Okay, that's your A chord. I want you to memorize this shape this week, so you can, by the end of the week, just go A chord, okay, and you know where to put your fingers. You're gonna memorize it, just like a chart or a graph. Okay, then we go to the D chord, and I want you to memorize this one also. We're gonna skip over the C for now, we'll get to that. Now we're going to do D. Notice right away, you've got 2 X's, so we will not play the 6th string or the 5th string. 4th string will be played open, and then the fingers that we're pressing down are here. So I'm going to walk you through that one. So first finger goes on 3rd string, 2nd fret. second finger, which is my middle finger of the left hand, goes on the first string, also second fret. And then my third finger goes on the second string, third fret. I had it there, but it should be there. I'm trying to look at the camera and my fingers at the same time. Okay, so there it is, if you can see it. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna press those down, play right on the tips of the fingers, use that thumb to squeeze the neck, and I'm gonna strum just 4 strings now, not the 6th, not the 5th. Should sound something like that. And I can strum with my index finger. That's fine also. Okay, you want to memorize that shape as well. So we've got A, and we've got D. Now we're going to do E, which is just below the D in the book. Notice right away there are no X's. That means you're going to strum all 6 strings. And for the E, it has 3 open strings, so you'll be strumming all 6, but you're only pressing down on 3 of them. I'll walk you through this one. First finger goes on 3rd string, 1st fret. Second finger goes on 5th string, 2nd fret. And third finger goes on 4th string, 2nd fret. We're gonna strum all 6 while our fingers are pressed down there. Remember to play right on the tips of the fingers and use that thumb behind the neck to squeeze. And you can strum with index, you can strum with thumb, you can imitate holding a pick, however you want to do it. Okay, so you've got A, D, E. The goal this week should be to memorize those 3 chords, get comfortable pressing them down. Don't worry about how clear the sound is right now. Just try to memorize that shape and get your fingers used to going into that shape. If you continue to practice, the sound will be clearer. Sometimes it sounds terrible at first. That's okay. That's part of the process. Don't get discouraged. Keep practicing it a little bit each day. Now's a good time to talk about calluses on the tips of your left hand where you're going to be pressing. It's going to hurt for a while until you get those calluses built up on the tips of your fingers. The only way to get those, of course, is by practicing every day. And after 3 weeks or so, you'll start to get those calluses. You want the calluses because that will enable you to press down and play for long periods of time without any discomfort, okay? You may have calluses from other things. If you play tennis, for example, you have calluses all over or if you lift weights, you get these calluses here, pull-ups, these kind of things, baseball. So any instrument like violin, they have calluses. Any string players have calluses. Believe it or not, woodwind and brass players get calluses around their lips to toughen up their lips so it doesn't hurt to play. So you need those. Okay, so keep practicing till you get those. All right. If you already know these chords, you can learn some of the other chords in the book as well on page 47, but we'll start with these 3 and we'll take it from there next time. Have fun practicing.